What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Raptor here, bringing you another video. This is gonna be the part 2 to my crackhead neighbor. I know it's been a long time, but I'm here bringing you the the conclusion to the part 1 of my crackhead neighbor, Jeffrey. If you guys remember, so we're gonna be talking about Jeffrey and what ended up happening to him, because a lot of people were like, "Yo, what ended up happening to Jeffrey?" Well, Jeffrey, he's not my neighbor anymore. So unfortunately, he's or fortunately, I guess I could say he's not my neighbor anymore. Um, and it's been a couple of months. We've got new neighbors and everything. So honestly, I hope Jeffrey, if you're watching this, I hope you've stopped the crack. You know what I'm saying, and I hope you've elevated your lifestyle to better things. But what ended up happening to Jeffrey, right? If you guys don't remember, my crackhead neighbor, I'm gonna post the link in the description below. Make sure to watch part 1 first, and this is gonna make a lot more sense. But basically, Jeffrey, in all explanation, he was my crackhead neighbor that did a lot of crack and blasted his music full volume at 3 a.m. while shouting "bat bat bat" like he's a firework. So that's basically the summarization of Jeffrey for you. Now, he was a good guy. He was a good guy, right? Off of the crack, but on the crack, he was like a firework. He was like a police siren. I'm not kidding you. The man just didn't shut up, man. It was like a broken radio, but he was honestly a good guy. Um, but anyway, back to the point of what ended happening to Jeffrey. So, as y'all know, Jeffrey was rowdy. He was wild. He was always bapping. That's what I call it, bapping, bat, because that's basically his lingo. That's his lingo, like I said before. But my boy Jeffrey, right? He was set big fires in his backyard. He almost burned down his shed. I'm not lying. If y'all watched the part 1, the intro to that was that was Jeffrey's fire, bro. The man was crazy. I'm telling y'all, but shit, you know what I'm saying? What ended up happening to Jeffrey? So basically, he did some bad things, and it's not his fault because he's a good person. But like, the drugs get to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why don't do drugs, kids. Because you do too many drugs, you forget who you are, and then you turn into Jeffrey. So you don't want that, trust me, because you're just gonna cause hell for your neighborhood and eventually get evicted. Because that is what happened to my boy Jeffrey. That he got evicted. That is why he is no longer my neighbor. So I'm gonna tell the story on how he got evicted, and this is kind of a dark story. So it's not for the lighthearted. If you have a light heart, I suggest you click off of this right now. But if you know you're a tough cookie, then yeah, like and subscribe, because I'm about to tell the story of how Jeffrey got evicted. So basically, Jeffrey, right, after continuous summers of going crazy in his backyard, he finally got evicted. And like I said in the last video, there was he's a smart guy. Like, he's a smart crackhead. Like, he was renting out the basement and stuff for people. He was working a job. Like, he was able to supply his lifestyle while doing crack. You know what I'm saying? I commend it. A lot of crackheads are out here on the streets, and they're begging for money and stuff. Hopefully that's not him now. That's why I said hopefully he's elevated his lifestyle and he's not on the streets. Because I know he's smart. He got that business mentality. He knows how to live life like a regular person. He does crack at 3 a.m. and goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, he was renting out the basement. He was making enough money to pay his rent while working. So he had that extra money for crack, and then he probably had like extra money saved up too. Like, he was making money. Like I'm saying, he was a smart guy. Like, he's not one of these crackheads that just does crack and then 24/7. I mean, even though he did, he was somehow able to be smart with it. So that being said, there was people in his basement, and this is what caused him to get evicted, and this is where it gets dark. So during the summertime, these people in the basement, right? They were renting out the basement, and Jeffrey was on crack or something. I don't know what he was on, but he was going crazy in the backyard, doing the usual, bat, 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 doing the usual. But all of a sudden, right, and I think I heard this the day after, but all of a sudden that night, right, what Jeffrey ended up doing was not okay, bro. It's not okay, and this is why I say don't do drugs, because you know what I'm saying, you can't control yourself. Like Jeffrey couldn't control himself, going bap bap bap, fuck you and stuff. The police would even try to come, and they wouldn't arrest his ass. I don't know. They just like looked at him and they were just like laughing at him and shit, because when the police came, Jeffrey would be like, "Oh, you look so good today, officer." Like, yo, he was a wild guy, bro. But that's what I'm saying. These motherfucking drugs, bro, once they get to you, you can't control yourself, bro. So it got to a point where it got really, really, really bad. Like he would get taken away by the cops, and he'd come back, and he'd still do his, bap bap and all that stuff. But it got to a point where he started messing with the downstairs neighbor, bruh. And this is how he got evicted, right? So he started messing with the downstairs neighbor while he was off the crack, right? He was not in control of himself at all, bruh. This is where he kind of crossed the line. So what actually ended up happening is, I don't know what time it was probably late or something, but he was tweaking, right? He was tweaking off this shit. And Jeffrey decided it was a good idea to go to the people renting out his basement, right? And open the door, and the people in his basement, right? Mind this, right? The people in his basement were there because they came from somewhere else, and the location where we are at right now has the certain medical stuff they need for their problems. Apparently they had like some problems with, I don't know what it was, their legs or something, I don't know. But they're basically like chilling here because they're getting medical treatment from the location, and Jeffrey bust into their what's it called, basement, right? Because they're renting a basement. And bro, what he does next is crazy, right? So he busts into the basement, and apparently the girl's just lying there or whatever, right? Like she's just lying there on the bed because she's sick and she's here for treatment, right? So Jeffrey comes, and he's off the crack, right? He is not in control of himself whatsoever. I swear, like a demon jumped his body or some shit, because that's not normal, right? Like you getting this money from these people in the basement to supply your crack habits and to be able to live, and then all of a sudden you're just gonna go break into you know what I'm saying, your the people who are renting your basement. Like, two and two don't make sense. That's not him, bro. He's off the drugs, you know what I'm saying? He can't control himself at that point. So it's scary, bro. He goes in there and he tries to like drag the lady out of the bed type shit. Like on some crazy ass shit. That's what I heard. He tried to drag her out of the bed, and the lady was like, stop, Jeffrey! Like, you know what I'm saying? Going crazy and shit. And I don't even know what time this was, bro. It was probably late and shit, bro. I would have shit my pants if I was that woman, bro. I swear to God, I probably would have killed his ass. I'm not even lying. Like, if somebody came into my room, tried to drag me by my feet, I'd be like, the hell you doing? Like, for real. So that is what Jeffrey tried to do. I don't know if he tried to like rape her. I don't know what the fuck like his intentions was, but he was doing some weird ass like crackhead shit. And this is where he crossed the point, right? Like all that bapping and turning up, like that's cool, you know what I'm saying? You could do that, like, and the police won't arrest his ass if they're just gonna watch and laugh him while I'm in my room at 3 a.m. not being able to fucking sleep. But you know what I'm saying? At least he's not causing no harm to anybody except really himself, which is kind of sad. But he crossed the point to where he was actually, you know what I'm saying, causing harm to like the people who were renting out his basement and stuff. And it that's where it got too far. And ever since that, that is the reason why he got evicted. Like his neighbors basically kicked him out of his own house. Like the people renting downstairs kicked him out of his own house. He got evicted from his own house. I'm not even lying. So the people downstairs was living there for a couple months, and my boy Jeffrey was MIA. It was the craziest shit ever, bro. But besides that, a couple months into it, I seen him like going in and out of his shed, like hoodied up. He was walking around the park hoodied up, like he was looking really like mad sketch. But you could tell like, you know, something's up with him. Like he wasn't doing no bap anymore. He was just silent. Like he wasn't even talking or anything, cause he got evicted from his house. I'm pretty sure he was still working his job or whatever. But a couple months passed after that whole situation happened, and he ended up getting evicted and having to move to a different location. And that is honestly the last time I seen Jeffrey. So ever since then, we've got new neighbors and stuff. My boy Jeffrey is somewhere else, probably doing the same thing. Bat. I hope not though. Like I said before, I hope that he's found his way. I hope that he's found the path that elevates him to, you know what I'm saying, the next level. And hopefully he's not doing the same shit he was doing a couple months ago as my neighbor, as my once or my previous neighbor, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I always remember about Jeffrey is just it's just like, you know what I'm saying? He was like the craziest crackhead in the neighborhood, bro. Like he just the bopping, like the music, everything, like, you know what I'm saying? He was a crackhead with a personality. Like I could say that. Like, cause most of these crackheads you see, like I said, they're on the street begging for money, or they're just like, you know what I'm saying, like crying, soulless, like sad zombies and stuff. But he was a happy soul. He was a happy soul. He was just So sometimes, you know what I'm saying, he actually like killed me, bro. Sometimes it was making me laugh, but sometimes it was too much. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it got to the point too much where I actually want to like punch him in the face. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said in the last video, I think I said the same thing. I wanted to punch, but I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he's off crack. He's not in the right state of mind, type shit. But yeah, that is my story of my crackhead neighbor part 2. That is the conclusion to what ended up happening to Jeffrey. He's been evicted. He's no longer my neighbor. And once again, I hope that he has found the right path for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he is a smart crackhead, bro. If he just got off crack, he could probably do some big things. Because, like I say, he's a good soul. It's just the crack got to him. And that concludes this story, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do drugs, especially crack. Don't do crack. All right, crack is whack. But that being said, you know what I'm saying. Our condolences go to Jeffrey. I hope he's bapping in, you know what I'm saying, paradise or whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, man. I just hope that he's not doing the same shit he was doing in my backyard. Because the location he moved to, there is a lot more crackheads. So, yeah. Let's just hope he didn't get involved into all of that and he's found his path, like I said before. But enough rambling, enough mumbo jumbo. That has been part 2 of my crackhead neighbor. I hope y'all enjoyed. And without a further move, I'll be posting more videos on my main channel. I was just really focused on getting videos out on my second channel. And I'll put that in the description if you guys are interested. That is my spiritual channel. But I'm back on my main channel. I'm going to be uploading. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, Raptor out, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch y'all soon. Hey!